provide sustainable solutions in managing the evolving challenges of climate change. The SPE Clean Air Initiative. I want to say a warm welcome to everybody that's joining us here today. You can give yourself a round of applause. For those, I said give yourself a round of applause, and you're not proud of yourself. Thank you. For those that are not professional members of SPE, the SPE Sustainability Program is created to enable all individuals in the oil and gas industry to act in the service of sustainable economic development, create actions to address the planet's sustainability challenges. So on this note, I say a warm welcome to all of our student members, all of our professional members, and every council of industry who have joined state events today. My name is Ofokono Akman. My pleasure to be to them as the master of ceremony for today. Very quickly, we'll start by honoring our fatherland, and we'll start by having the national anthem. So, like, quickly stand for the national anthem. whatever is happening here. Let me quickly continue the events by recognizing some very distinguished representatives who have joined us here today. After that, I welcome our leader and dynamic section chairman of SC Abuja section, the president of Engineer Abinel Adami, who is here present. Thank you so much for joining us. We'd like that you join us on the headset format. Thank you so much for joining us here today, ma'am. Please keep appreciating her. Amazing leader and SC Abuja section has led us to win the MC section award for outstanding section. We'd also like to welcome the program chair of MC Abuja section, Dr. Engineer Victor Aluji. Welcome, sir. We'd like to also join us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here today, sir. Welcome all senior members and section executives of SC Abuja section, which I'll read through and recognize them here. We have the membership chairperson here present. Welcome, Dr. Ike Go. Thank you so much for joining us here. We have the treasurer of the section, State of Engineer Shedra Ukiriki, the other back. Thank you so much for joining us. We also welcome our young professional chairperson, the State of Engineer Oguru Rome Ogulu. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Of course, the man who has packaged and planned these events, all from the desk of the sustainability and community. We welcome Engineer Mohammed Benutu. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for making this event successful. I welcome all of our highly esteemed speakers, some of whom will be joining us virtually. I start from saying a warm welcome to His Excellency Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, who is the Ambassador of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in Germany. He's joining us virtually. Mr. Robert, you can hear us, sir? Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, sir. We also welcome the keynote speaker for today, who is the CEO of Dubra Group and Mentor Software Engineering, the speaker of Dr. Dubra Ibrahim. A warm welcome to you, sir. And you join us on the head table. He's on his way. Okay, thank you, thank you. I want to say a warm welcome to Executive Director of Health, Safety, Environment, and Community of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, the speak of Dr. Mustafa Amodi. A warm welcome to you, sir. I believe he's on his way. He's also one of our speakers for today. We also welcome the Chief Innovation Officer of the Research, Technology, and Innovation of the NNPC, the speaker of Mr. Teddy Ibola. Representative, thank you, His Presence. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, still on our way to the beach. Also joining us virtually is the Dean of Engineering, Faculty of Engineering, University of Ilorin. Of course, he's joining us virtually. I think of Professor Suli. Welcome to you, sir. Please confirm you can hear us.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have amazing resources who do justice to this program. I want to welcome every captain of the industry. Time will not permit me to recognize you. We welcome our sponsor of the PTDF. Please can we give the PTDF a round of applause, please? Thank you so much, PTDF, for allowing us to always use your venue, time in, time out. Welcome members of the program of Essence Value Chain. Thank you so much, Value Chain, for accepting to cover this event. Distinguished guests and gentlemen, affiliate members, give yourself a round of applause and thank you for joining us here today. Now, according to the World Health Organization, every year, air pollution causes 7 million premature deaths, and of which 600,000 are children. And according to the World Bank, air pollution costs the global economy an estimate of $5 trillion in welfare losses. And in the 15 countries with the highest greenhouse gas emissions, health impact of air pollution are estimated to cost more than 4% per GDP. Now, meeting with the Paris Agreement on climate change, however, we could save over 1 million lives a year by 2050 and use to health benefits worth an estimated $34 trillion to reduce air pollution. And now this brings us to these events, the Clean Air Initiative. This is intended to provide sustainable solutions to managing the evolving challenges of climate change through advocacy programs community programs, community projects, and the research initiative is intended to encouraging and supporting and building capacities in the academia. Still today, we have the One Hero, One Tree projects, which our sustainability chair will do something to inform us as we go along the course of this event. So I'll quickly run us through the activities we have today, and then we will quickly have our remarks. After my opening introduction, we'll take an opening remark by the section chair of SPE and the section. Thereafter, we have a goodwill message by the ambassador who is online. Then we will quickly move on to a keynote address on the impacts of climate change to national development. A keynote speaker on his way here, and then we proceed to the sponsored remark by PDS. We have a couple of goodwill messages following which we have a brief of the SPE Clean Air Initiative, and then we proceed to the launch proper. Thereafter, we have the three-party schedule of projects. One is, and then the voter rights, and then we close with a networking session and launch break. So it's going to be a very, very short one, and we beg your indulgence, give us all your attention as we speak through the agenda I have read through. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, switching gears immediately, would like to welcome our amiable section chair of the SPE Abuja section, Madam Amina and Nadami, as she comes forward for her opening remarks. With a round of applause for her to come forward. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here. And I would like to stand on the existing protocol established by our amiable MC. Let me use his word. So it is with sincere pleasure I welcome you to the inauguration of the SPE Clean Air Initiative, championed by SPE Abuja section. This initiative is geared to implement a sustainable solution in the management of the climate. This initiative intends to implement deliverables such as advocacy programs, community projects, research initiatives, thereby creating a synergy between the industry and the academia. In addition, this initiative also intends to plant at least 1,000 trees annually to support the provision of clean air in the society. Climate change is a front-burner conversation in the petroleum industry today. In fact, certain jurisdictions have taken definitive steps to manage their contribution to carbon emissions globally. In the same vein, the global approach to combating climate change has also evolved considerably. The Kyoto Protocol, which was seen to be a very rigid approach, has been replaced by, in my opinion, a more liberal Paris Climate Agreement, which is a more sustainable approach in managing climate change. Despite its importance, deforestation remains a primary concern for us in this part of the world, as the growth of anthropogenic activity and the need for energy has led to the continual felling of trees, hampering the air quality in both urban and rural areas alike. This has the effect of increasing exposure to respiratory-related ailments among the populace. It is estimated a forest size equivalent to a football pitch is destroyed every second. In view of the foregoing and noting the importance of ensuring access to energy for all in line with the Sustainable Development Goals, the Abuja section supports the adoption of an energy mix that assures equitable access to clean energy sources. In addition, the section seeks to support the sustenance of clean atmosphere, hence the implementation of this very laudable initiative. I sincerely wish to appreciate SPE Nigeria Council, the Abuja section, our distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for taking time out of your busy schedule to support this event. I would like to especially thank the ambassador of Nigeria to Germany, who is actually at the airport. He's supposed to be traveling, but he still decided to take a goodwill message because of the importance he places on this program and because of his passion for SPE. So thank you very much, everyone, and let's listen to Ambassador as he gives our goodwill message.
Thank you. I think Sean Chen said that another song we run about this. This is the first event of the kind during Ontario as a sexual thing. Thank you so much, Mark. Our very next speaker is an experienced organizational analyst, a professional in the oil and gas consulting. He was a traveling scholarship recipient and an advocate for policy implementation at the federal and state levels. As a lawmaker, he contributed immensely in the various committees, and subcommittees in which he was assigned and served. He is and was appointed in 2017 as the ambassador of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to the Federal Republic of Germany. Your Excellencies, very distinguished guests and gentlemen, please for his goodwill message, and we welcome virtually His Excellency Ambassador Bitu Maitama Tuga. So, Mr. Ben, you can hear us. We would love to see you for your goodwill message.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me and you can see me. I'm not sure. Can you? Hello?
We hear you, sir. We hear you. Can go on, sir.
And you can see me as well, yeah?
Yes, we can see you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Let me begin by recognizing the Executive Secretary of the Petroleum Trust Development Fund, who I believe is the host today. And of course, the amiable chairman of the Abuja section of the Society of Petroleum Engineers and other executives here present. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be invited to give a goodwill message at this all-important event. As has been mentioned, I'm actually at an airport, but I think, you know, it is part of my job as an ambassador to support such laudable initiatives. And as you all know, Germany is perhaps the nexus of climate change, environmental preservation, as well as the application of engineering and research to industrial production. Not only because it hosts the Global Climate Change Initiative through the United Nations, which is based in Bonn, but also because it has done so much in terms of clean air for the planet, in terms of preserving its forests, and also in terms of engineering, as most of us here, I believe, are engineers. Some of us would know that the very early innovations that fueled the Industrial Revolution came about from the activities of early engineers, farmers actually, on the edge of the Black Forest in southern Germany, who started with tinkering with little gadgets during the winter seasons when they were not farming, to produce clocks, to produce cuckoo clocks made of wood and metal and other engineering, mechanical instruments, and went from clocks to converting horse-drawn carts into vehicles. This is why you have Mercedes-Benz on the edge of the Black Forest in Stuttgart, in the state of Baden-Württemberg. And of course, next door, you've got the Bavaria Motor Works, which is BMW, and so on and so forth. So you can see the linkage also from this innovation and technology with hydrocarbons, and which is why it is also important that we identify opportunities to partner with a country such as Germany that is committed to clean air, to reducing carbon emissions, just as Nigeria has equally shown very strong dedication to tackling these problems that affect all of us on the planet. I'm not going to, dwell too much on our green bonds, our climate finance accelerators, identifying projects that would help in such an endeavor, and so on and so forth. And Nigeria remains fully committed. But having said all of that, we all know that we're sitting on 212 trillion cubic feet of gas, which we have to utilize. And there was an effort not so long ago to actually describe gas as bad, as contributing to carbon emissions. But of course, that is only if it is used irresponsibly. Methane, as we know, is nowhere near a pollutant as crude oil or coal, for instance. And with the advent of LNG, you cool natural gas to minus 260 degrees Fahrenheit. It becomes easier to transport and utilize. And Nigeria needs to position itself to take advantage of the prevailing circumstances on the planet today, because Europe, one of the largest continents with the largest industrial output, is facing an energy crisis, the first. So it's not just a fuel crisis, but an energy crisis, combining both issues to do with fuel as well as electricity. So we're in a very good position to take advantage of this. And that's why I want to, just before I conclude, talk about hydrogen. Germany is very keen on the production of hydrogen, green hydrogen at that. And I would like to urge all of us to pay close attention to what is happening there. They've committed 9 billion euros to the production of green hydrogen. And lastly, to round up, I hope I haven't taken too much of your time. I would like to, if it is agreed by the chapter, introduce Walden Capital Partners, an investment manager for natural capital that approached my embassy for reforestation projects in Nigeria. Their model involves nature-based carbon sequestration projects with local communities in Nigeria. Other aspects of the project model would include afforestation and reforestation programs for improved forest management, conversion of degraded grasslands and forests into sustainable plantations, improved logging practices in forests using increased long-term carbon stock, and removal of carbon through the adoption of improved agricultural land management practices. If it's okay with everyone, we would like to introduce them to the chapter and give our full support. And I would like to thank you for this opportunity and wish you successful, productive deliberations. Thank you very much. And I hope you heard me throughout.
Thank you, Ambassador. His Excellency, Ambassador Stuga. Of course, the section is always open to collaboration, and through our section chair, we'll work with Walden partners. Still another round of applause for our ambassador. He didn't just stop to speak, but also led us to another main branch you can always work with. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we're switching gears immediately to our keynote address. If you're in bio event, it's the best time to make use of it. Of course, our very next speaker has studied for 6 degrees from 4 continents. He has worked in the following sectors: computing, journalism, education, agriculture, and finance. His career shadows both the public and private sectors. Some of the world-class institutions he attended include Harvard, London School of Journalism, and Stanford University. I would like to speak about his career because to take us years to know about him. So let me focus on just agriculture. He is the CEO of Global Group and has facilitated the development of billions of naira in agricultural intervention funding. He led the management of the Bobby Grazing Reserve, which has 42,000 hectares. His research into the rapid propagation of super napier grass has helped many farmers. However, his several agricultural activities with the planting of fruit trees. Right now, he's planting 200 million trees in this country. Yes, 1 tree for every Nigerian. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the co-founder and the CEO of Zukoko.com, a food subscription service. Please, with a round of applause, we welcome for his keynote address on the impact of climate change on national development. Dr. Ibrahim, the CEO of Global Group and Entertain Software Initiative. With a round of applause for him, he comes forward for his address. Please clap it, please.
Good afternoon. I'm going to start with a quiz. Some of the questions are from NASA, and some of the questions are from IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. So it's going to test your knowledge of what you know about climate change. Don't worry, there are no wrong answers. So the first question is, from 1990 to 2019, which of these greenhouse gases had the fastest growing rate of emission? A, methane. B, nitrous oxide. C, carbon dioxide. You can give me a chorus answer if you want. Huh? Somebody said B. Is it methane? A. A is wrong. Sorry, I told you there was no wrong answer. I lied. Methane is wrong. So someone said C. You are correct. Put your hands together for it. So the second question. Here we do not have a wrong answer. True or false? Planting trees can make up for all global increases in emissions. True or false? False, correct. Planting trees, by the calculation of experts, can absorb up to 52% of the emissions. But it's not going to solve all the problems. So far, we already have 30% that's absorbed. So when we plant natural forests, we'll have 22 more. Okay, the next question. How did the cost of solar energy change from 2010 to 2019? A, it has decreased by 85%. B, increased by 85%. C, stays the same. B, increased by 85% because of solar energy. Decreased by yes, yeah, it has decreased by 85%. In fact, because of economics of scale and technology, the cost of solar now is becoming lower than the cost of the regular energy, coal, fossil fuel. Yeah. So, and because of the incentives that governments, especially in Europe, give, it's even lower than the cost of the regular electricity we consume. But very soon Nigeria will also get that, because we can't be left behind. But it's for 9 years, or let's say 10 years, the decrease of 85% is huge, right? The next question: how can towns and cities reduce greenhouse gas emissions? A, switch to renewable energy. B, create more green spaces. C, both. C, both. Thank you. We switch to renewable energy and also create green spaces like planting trees. The next question: what is a greenhouse gas? Of course, for the non-engineers here, I think this question is for you. Gas related to agriculture. B, atmospheric gas that traps heat. C, gas from green energy. B, the gas that traps heat, right? That is why it is problematic. Can you give me an example of one? Carbon dioxide. Good. The next question: the amount of carbon dioxide created by human activity is in A, millions, B, billions, C, trillions. This one is a bit confusing, right? It's certainly not millions, it's more than millions, right? So it's either in billions or trillions. Yeah. So it's in billions. We've not gotten to trillions yet, God forbid. True or false? Climate scientists know that humans are the cause of global warming. You know, this is a very controversial question. There are some expert scientists, credible scientists, who have said that this is a trend. And in history, we usually have these trends. Sometimes the climate will warm up, then it regresses to where it was. But there is a unanimity now, almost unanimity among scientists, that what we are seeing now, the history has never recorded before. Already 2020 was the hottest year in recorded history. So the answer here is true. The scientists know that humans are the cause of global warming, as we're experiencing today. So those are my questions. And thank you for getting them right. So put your hands together for yourself. Here is an interesting statistics. In the world, we have 3 trillion trees. That's a lot of trees, right? In the Amazon forest alone, we have more than 200 billion trees in Amazon rainforest. So some will think because we have a lot, we don't need more, right? Wrong, because here is the problem. Like the chapter head of the SPE, Abuja said earlier, every minute, the size of 40 football fields every minute of trees are destroyed. That is, if you follow the Premier League. In the Premier League, we have 20 teams, right? right? We have 20 teams. So double of the 20 teams. You go to Chelsea, it's football field. You go to Crystal Palace, it's football field. Liverpool, all of them, they destroyed that amount of forest, trees every minute. So how many do humans destroy in 1 hour, in 1 month, in 1 year? Actually, we destroy 10 billion trees. 10 billion. In Nigeria, we do a lot of charcoal, right? And the kind of charcoal we do is to fell our trees, especially some local trees that serve local purposes, like this shea butter tree. I'm from Niger State, and we have a lot of those trees when we were growing up. Now they've cut them down, either for furniture because they said the wood is good, or for charcoal. The consumption of charcoal all over the world contributes 5% to the global emission of greenhouse gases. Because this is what happens when you fell a tree. The sequestration, the carbon that is captured, and interestingly, every tree captures 22 kg of carbon dioxide every year, 22 kg. So if you hold the tree, then you burn it, most of the carbon goes into the atmosphere. Even though luckily some have already been locked into the soil, and it will stay there for thousands of years. So in Nigeria, we have a very big problem. And some of us, I used to have a friend, or I have a friend who used to export charcoal to the Arab countries. Imagine that. And the government allowed that, you know? So we are degrading our forests. And experts have shown that the impact, the adverse effect of climate change is going to be felt more in the developing countries. So we do not have any cover, we don't have any protection against the climate change. We may not be the worst contributors to the problem, but we are going to suffer it more. So that is the problem. If we don't do anything about this problem, we are all going to die. Now, I'm not exaggerating. Already, the average temperature has increased by 1%. Sorry, 1 degree Celsius. The Paris Accord, the Paris Agreement that the section, the chapter I had mentioned earlier, which is that she likes better, agree that we should keep it below 1.5. That is the acceptable figure. But that's also dangerous, because when we get to average temperature rise of 2 degrees Celsius, then we reach the point of no return. It cannot be reversed. All the bad things that will happen, no one can do anything about it. That is why this is a very urgent problem. And everybody is trying to look for solutions for them. Some solutions are very ridiculous. Some are very viable. So it's a very, very big problem that we should face. And I'm very happy that SPE has taken up this challenge. For example, the bone challenge has also promised that they will plant 1 trillion trees, because scientists from Zurich were able to estimate that the world can accommodate 1.2 trillion more trees. That would take about 1 billion hectares. And even that, we have to start very quickly, because 12 million hectares have already been destroyed of forests. And I keep mentioning forests because, especially the tropical rainforests, because of its biodiversity and everything, they capture more greenhouse emissions than monocultural forests. For example, where you have eucalyptus in Brazil, they have about 9 million hectares of eucalyptus. They convert that to paper. But they call it's green, you see that it's green. They call it green desert because it doesn't do anything for the climate. In fact, it worsens because there's no diversity in the trees. So that is the complication. If we don't do anything, we're all going to die. And we'll suffer before we die. Huh? Those are the two things we don't want, right? We don't want to suffer, and we don't want to die. So what is the solution? The solution is what SPE is trying to implement: tree planting. Tree planting has been estimated to cool cities by about 8 degrees Celsius. So if we are going to plant trees, it's a very, very viable solution. Also, trees, besides the climate, they help in other areas, like air. If you go to Japan, there's what they call forest therapy. If you feel depressed, you go to the forest and you walk in the forest. By the time you come out, you are better. In my house in Mina, I have a food forest where I have at least 20 species of fruit trees. And I could see in a very small scale how tree planting helps humanity. It creates its own biodiversity because the birds come, they sing for me every morning, they build their nest, they eat from my fruits, and they go out, they play, then they come back. And all the animals, you see the lizard, you see different animals there. Luckily, we don't have any dangerous ones like snakes. We've discovered snakes before. We've not seen them for a year now. You know, so it helps that. It helps with social impacts. When you plant trees, people have places to take care, places to go for picnics and other things. It also gives us water, because if you have tree cover, it locks down the water in the soil. If there is not that protection, it evaporates. So if it locks down water, it helps farmers with food, etc. So we agree that tree planting is a solution, especially if you plant different varieties of trees. Now, what can you do as an individual? As an individual, you can plant 1 tree every year. If it grows, you are absorbing 22 kg of the carbon every year. However, it's even better you plant according to the number of your years. Maybe you've never planted a tree in your life. So if you are 22, you plant 22 trees. If you are 50, you plant 50 trees. If you are the Oga of the house, you total all the birthdays of the house, all the ages in the house, and you plant accordingly. If it's 200 years, you plant 200 trees. But what impresses me about SB is the fact that they want to plant 1 tree for every hero, right? 1, you are serving the environment. 2, you are celebrating our heroes. And 3, if you are going to plant fruit trees, you are providing food for the communities where these trees are going to be planted. So everyone should ask themselves, what can we do? And SP has suggested one option, plant trees. So going forward, you ask yourself, how many trees have I planted? Because these trees, some of them will stay for at least 35 years. And they produce more fruits like them and seeds. When people eat, they throw the seeds out, more trees grow. Let me give you an example. When I was in secondary school, a teacher, my neighbor, was going to throw out his plantain tree. I said, sir, give it to me, I want to plant. He said, okay, that's very good. So I planted. When I was in school, my mother would send me the plantain. I graduated from school, I started higher schools. Wherever I was within Nigeria, my mother would send the plantain to me. Today, I'm grown. I have children of my own. 25 years later, my mother still sends the fruits of that tree, 1 tree. Because you know the nature of banana. If it grows, matures, bears fruits, you cut it, it has other plants that will take its place, right? So that tree is still there. The great-great-grandchildren are still there. So the man that gave me the tree is dead now. And I'm sure he gets reward from that. So tree planting is one way to ensure you plant your biggest that endures. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ibrahim. Please a round of applause for him. The key points I picked from his presentation: the world can accommodate about 1.2 million more trees. Trillion more trees. Amazing. And of course, SB Abuja will join adding more trees to the world. And then it's a tree planting cold cities by 8 degrees Celsius. And we all need trees in our homes. We need to plant trees because they help us absorb about 22 kg of carbon. So much to learn from him. Thank you so much. I want to get another round of applause for him. Thank you. Our very next presentation is supposed to be done by the PTDF, and I meant to understand that they are on their way here. But of course, I'd like to reaffirm the commitment of PTDF to always giving us a venue for our events, also supporting our events. So please, can we give the PTDF another round of applause for always doing the SB Abuja section. Very quickly, I would like to also recognize the presence of the alternate secretary of SB Abuja section, who is here present, the president of Engineer Rafi here, the honorable person. Thank you so much for joining us here. We also have the publicity secretary of SB Abuja Section who joined us, Engineer Salman Mutahul, who have just stepped out. Thank you so much for joining us here today, sir. So immediately, distinguished guests and gentlemen, we would like to have another goodwill message. Of course, the next speaker who's joined us virtually is a first-class graduate of mechanical engineering from the University of Ilorin. He also has a Master of Engineering from the University of Ilorin in 1995 and the Doctorate of Philosophy still in mechanical engineering in the year 2000 from the University of Ilorin. He is a professional member of several organizations, a registered member of the Council for Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, and a member of Association of Members of International Network on Small Hydropower. He's also a member of the Society of Engineers, and I believe he would also be a member of NCE after this event. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests and gentlemen, for his goodwill message, and we welcome virtually the Dean, Faculty of Engineering and Technology, University of Ilorin, and speak of Professor Olamuyiwa Lasoni. With a round of applause for me, let's join me in probably sometime you can hear us. Would like to have you speak now, Professor Lasoni.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. I plead to align with already established protocols, and I want to thank God for the opportunity to be part of the launch. And also, it's my pleasure to be part of the program to identify with SPE, and also one of our alumnus is Engineer Onotu Mohammed, when we met in Abuja last week, and he told me about the program, and I promised that I will be there with him. So I identify with SPE and the Clean Air Initiative section and the 1H 1T initiative. It's a laudable program considering the problem of climate change that we are facing right now. And the speakers, before now, I've already mentioned giving us statistics of the problems that climate change has given to us. But I want to say that tree is life. So also we say air is life and water is life. But I want to say that you can do without food for many days. You can do without water for 3 to 4 days, but you cannot do without air for more than between 4 to 5 minutes. So that makes the air that we breathe to be so important. And tree is a purifier because it takes CO2 from the atmosphere and gives us oxygen, which we need. So I believe that this initiative will definitely ameliorate the depletion of ozone layer and help to reduce global warming. And it will also help to reduce deforestation, especially in Nigeria, in the southern part of Nigeria. And it will help to stem the problem of desertification in the northern parts of Nigeria. So it's a good initiative, and But I want to note that there have been tree planting campaigns in the past. And I pray that zeal and passion to see this initiative to come to fruition, that God will help us to push it through so that we sell it even to the home level, as the previous speaker has also highlighted. I delight in planting trees, and I think this year alone, I've initiated the planting of about 3,000 trees, even this year, thick trees. Okay, and so with the support of all, I believe that the initiative by SPE will definitely reduce or contribute to the reduction of global warming. And if we can push it through with the support of PTDF, we know that definitely this is a worthwhile venture, and it will lead even to reduction of the problem that we have been talking about. So I wish the Clean Air Initiative and 1H, 1T program a success, and also a fruitful deliberation in the program today. Thank you very much for having me on. God bless you.
Of the truth, you can do without food, you can do without water, but you cannot do without air. And this brings us to the essence of tree planting, of course, tree being a purifier of the air we breathe. What is can we give? Professor, a lot about us. Absolutely. Thank you. So the reason why we're here at come the brief of the Spe Clean Air Initiative. Of course, this event is well planned and packaged by the chair committee and the sustainability university Abuja section. As the John, I'd like to most respectfully welcome him to the microphone. Help me welcome Engineer Mohammed to give us a brief of the clean air. With a round of applause for me, the business of the world.
Good morning, everyone. Standing on existing protocol, I was seated. Almost everything I was about to say, the MC started mentioning. The keynote speaker came, the section chair came, the same thing. And I'm like, okay, I always have plan B. My plan B was taken by the keynote speaker. I said, okay, what will be the plan C? This MC tried to enter into plan C, but now I also have a plan B. So starting with the plan B, one, if we can summarize all that we've heard so far, two things are key. Our existence and sustenance as human beings rely solely on how well we take care of our environment. And unfortunately, we've not been doing so good. So this is the most significant reason why this initiative has been brought in place. It's not just going to be a theoretical concept, it's way beyond that. So what did we decide to do at SPE? We believe in practicality, So we are now looking at three key pillars. See, this event is just an eyes on top of the cake, if we say that. So what we're looking at is way beyond something we believe that God willing to outlive us as individuals in the organization, and possibly also span across the globe. So the first pillar is the research component. If you're here and you find yourself in the academia, either as a student or as a lecturer, the research component is intended to create a level in which there's a platform the students can also leverage on, the lecturers can also leverage on, in creating sustainable solutions, in which this concept is intended to fund research. That means if you're here today and you're a student, and all through you'll be like, academics, it's so boring, no point. If you're a student member, please just signify. Yeah. If you intend to be a lecturer, signify. Somebody just put their exams. Is it a crime? So this fragment is intended to give hope that you can be a student and know at the back of your mind that the sky will not be the limit. All you just need is significant hard work, and there is already a platform for you to leverage on to succeed. So that's on one side. The second one is the sustainability plan. The sustainability plan is intended to merge and synergize ideas from the research, in which the project 1H1T, which is 1 euro, 1 3, is just a fragment, it's a project under the sustainability plan. A lot will still come under. So the first one we're embarking on is project 1H1T. What does this mean? 1 euro, 1 3. If you look at the level of insecurity today, those that have actually been sacrificing for us are the men on uniform, right? Directly or indirectly, we know someone that either is living or late, that are actually giving their all in the security of the nation. So the concept now is to integrate. We are already working on different fragments of partnership with the military, with the police, so that this initiative is sustainable and there will be a level of partnership amongst other organizations. So the one which you can decide, my father is my hero, my mother is my hero, and say, I want to plant a tree in their honor. So you're doing two things. You are recognizing the value, the impact of someone extremely impactful in your life, or to the society. So that is one component of the sustainability plan. So this is tree planting. We are also using it to tackle the issue of climate change. And at the same time, it's going to grow based on the first component, the research, right? From the research, how many number of trees do we need to plant to also combat the evolving climate change? So that on one side. The third fragment is the community development initiative. Without all this put together, if you don't enjoy a level of leverage or a level of privilege, you can fit it into the two. So the third umbrella would also cater for the hope of the less privileged. So this means that we can decide to go to the most rural area and say, okay, we want to also help people who combat, also tackle climate change. Instead of you burning and burning and burning, we can devise maybe a scope from the student wing of the research, for instance. And so we want to supply 100, 200 to this community. So what have we done at the end of the day? We carried everybody in the community along. So the concept of Spe initiative, we've not even started. At the inception, we've already got in partnership from CEPLAT, and the ambassador just overheard that there was this initiative. And he said, it's already in. So what this translates into is that from tomorrow, and as we move forward, we will have lots of productive engagement. So if you're here and you're a student member and you want to key in, signify your hand. If you signify, you get $20,000. Thank you very much.
Amazing, valuable initiative. So you had money, got your hand up. Amazing, amazing. Who don't like money? Okay. Thank you so much, Mohammed Lotu, for these amazing projects. Of course, the 1 hero, 1 tree, where we will have the opportunity to celebrate heroes and individuals who have made impacts in our life. So let me really ask 1 or 2 people. I'll just bring the mic to you, and then you probably mention 1 person that is a hero in your life who you would love to plant 1 tree in his honor. So if you want to speak, let me say hands up. 1 hero in your life. Okay, please stand up. 1 person who wants to speak again? 2. Okay, so I'll bring the mic to you. Just tell us the person who you feel is the hero in your life and how the person has impacted your life.
Good morning. My name is Shakira Ochosa, and the hero in my life is my dad. He has impacted my life in so many different ways that I can't even. So I love to thank him on.
Very rich. Okay.
Morning, everyone. My name is Kendrick Mark, and the hero in my life is my uncle, Daniel Farah, and I'll plan the victory on the dab.
Okay, so both individuals have male heroes. Nobody has a female hero here. So the hero in my life is our sexual chair, who is amiable. We can give her a round of applause. It's very, very phenomenal, and we always celebrate him. So switching gears immediately, we will have the official launch of this program by the sexual chair. Please, a round of applause. I said, Madami comes forward for the official launch. Yes, excuse me. Okay. So I mentioned at the start that the trees are being brought to this venue now. So while we wait for the tree to be brought, I want to get engaged our amazing audience. So if you go and a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old runs up to you and tells you, hello sister, hello uncle, you went out today by 10 o'clock. What did you learn? What did they tell you? What did you tell a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, or a 5-year-old? So I'm going to speak picking a role, one person per role. So from the end, one person per role. What will you tell a 3-year-old? You go back home and he runs up to you, she runs up to you and says, Daddy, what did you go to do since 10 o'clock today? So let's start. Who wants to speak for this room? You want to speak up with your hands up? I'll bring the mic to you. Who wants to speak? Who wants to speak? So nobody can tell a 3-year-old. We have like 5 speakers. Okay, come forward. None of us need this. Come forward. Come forward. Amazing. Please come forward. 1 meter 3-year-old. Okay.
Good morning. My name is Martin. So I'll just so don't make me answer complicated for him. I just said ensuring the future, because if we plant the trees, we only have a better environment for our land. Maybe bring in more innovation. Thank you.
Then innovation. I mean, you don't understand the word innovation. Okay, who else want to speak? What is the 3-year-old? We are happy men just speak today. Female, where are you? Diversity and inclusion. Okay. No female who wants to speak. Or should I come and give you the mic? We want one woman to speak. Okay, please allow us to ask about this. Okay. So immediately after our section chair, we'll do the launch. Your name and what you tell a 3-year-old. Very simple things.
Good morning, all. I'm sorry I came in late. I'm signing my office. But the little thing I meant was that if I'm to respond to the 3-year-old son or a girl, I'll just tell them that I learned something today by planting a tree. Not just to plant a tree, but to plant a tree in someone's name. And with that, it will be very, very sustained. You know, you can just plant a tree and forget about it. But you can't forget about this because it is planted in the name of someone that is very, very dear to you. So with that, it is well sustained.
Amazing. Well said, well said, well said. Amazing. This can you appreciate her once. So the tree is coming in, and we can see Dr. Dubra coming in with his spade. I guess we'll be digging in the hall of PTDF. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please repeat, Dr. Dubra, please. 6 degrees in 6 continents, in 6 universities. Okay. The new doctor would like to call on the second chair for the official launch. Please round of applause for her, please.
Thank you, MC. Please, can I have a student volunteer here with me? One student, please. Anyone? Please, I would like to call on the publicity chair
Put your hands together.
Good morning, everyone. Let me start on the existing protocol. We're on the planting tree initiative. But I also ask the question, we're in the era of change in the oil and gas industry. We're moving from NNPC to NNPC Limited. I have a slogan. Who can tell me the slogan? The new NNPC slogan. Somebody say it.
Energy for time.
Who can? No, I want somebody to answer it.
Energy for today, energy for tomorrow.
Your energy member. I want the new person. Anybody will tell me. Somebody at the back. Yes, one woman there. But please come up. Someone. Please come up. Yes. Thank you. What's the name? Sorry?
Good morning. Okay, so the new NNPC slogan is energy for today, energy for tomorrow.
How would you buy a podcast? Are you students? Yeah, we are planting today. And based on this program, energy for today and energy for tomorrow, we have standing here, we are already in the industry. And we believe that the life of the industry lies on the youth and the student is. So in that regard, what is she? What is Aisha? Aisha is over. She's the longest person in our midst. How many people are there of us? Let me use this privilege to speak the slogan, energy for today, we're all excited. What Aisha is coming on, we live in a corner. The future of Nigerian Balangas lies and Nigerian youth. Aisha want Aisha to prove that the youth can do it. Aisha, over to you, please.
By the powers vested on me by the SPD International President, within the section chair of the section, I hereby declare the launch of the Clean Air Initiative. So I'd like to call on our Aisha to represent the future. I think if Aisha plants this tree, is the future.
Representing today.
Representing tomorrow.
Okay.
Volunteer representing today. We are also representing
I need to make some technical explanation. This box is representing the kind of size that the hole you should dig for your tree. At least you should have half a meter depth. And actually it should be a square, half meter on both sides, then the depth should be also half meter. Yeah. But ideally it should be 1 meter. You should dig 1 meter in depth. Then you backfill the soil. You did not dig it to put the soil in it, no. So it's to loosen the soil so that the tree will have space. Very good. The roots will grow and the tree will grow very quickly to flourish more if the soil around it is loose. So this represents that. Then today we have, we're always talking about organic, right? So here in this ziploc we have rabbit manure. It's droppings. And rabbit manure, we have 2 types of manure. We have the cold manure and the hot manure. The hot manure It's very dangerous if it's fresh. If you put it immediately on your plant, it can burn it off. So example of hot manure, we have chicken droppings, we have cow dung, they are hot manure. So you allow them to decompose maybe for 6 months. But the cold manure, you can put immediately. Immediately the animal drops it, you can just throw on your plants and nothing will happen. And rabbit manure is one example. The goat manure is another example. You can see they are in pellets, right? They are similar. So this one is a cold manure, and you can use it. And of all the animals, the rabbit manure is the best, even though it's cold, the best. So if you want to keep fruit trees in your house, you have rabbits. So that is it. Then we have soil. Where is the soil? How's that? Okay. Soil. The soil is made by the compost, made by the mixture of green leaves, that's plant, and brown. So first we have to backfill the hole before putting in the soil. Okay. This tree has already produced fruits before. Yeah, actually my daughter was the one who took the last harvest. You know, it's a tangerine, you know. Yes, and the good thing about citrus trees is that they don't have seed. With good maintenance, it will give you fruits year. Yes, good maintenance means water it. Next to remove the fire. Even if it does not remove the bark, once you put it in the soil, the root will penetrate out of it. Yes. Yes. Okay, so this one the plant, right? So
Aisha, over to you.
no, I think what Aisha can do, she can put the one on it.
Aisha Mohammed, being the youngest SPE member, as a student member, is planting the tree for the future of our Nigerian youth. Thank you very much, Aisha, for this question. You need to nurture this tree and grow, over bigger and bigger and bigger. Thank you very much, Aisha Mohammed. Round of applause for Aisha Mohammed, please. Thank you very much, Aisha. So you keep watering the tree every day. Thank you so much.
Good picture.
Good picture.
Yes.
Session.
Session executives can enjoy it. Everyone from PTO, okay, that's fine, thank you. And after the program, it's 3 years to
Program, we don't intend to end it today, so it's going to continue. Thank you very much, Doctor, for coming and for your support. Last Sunday I was in church and the preacher was talking about, I think the topic was, what did God do to you? And he was talking about air, free air that God has given to us. And I was just remembering this program. And he talked about the cost of air for 1 hour being, I think, around 10,000 naira for air that you are breathing free. And in 24 hours, to give us about 240,000. Then in a year, what would be the amount of air that we breathe freely? That's about 87 million. That's the cost of air for a year. They calculate your age and know the amount of free air that God has been giving you. So you can see the importance of air. You cannot live without it. There are a lot of people that need, they need some form of support system to be able to enjoy this free air. So why not save the environment so that our future generations can, benefit from this? We've partnered with other organizations in the past in this area. Last year or this year, we did a program with the Victim of Violence Foundation to mark the International Toilet Day, and we did something on sustainability. We actually told them, we did it in partnership with the IDP camp in Abuja. So we taught them how to, build a mini toilet. So at the end of the day, the toilets will be tree will be planted on it because the toilet will be a form of manure to the tree. So when because those places where they live are temporary, place and it's being donated sometimes by individuals. So when they leave, they add value to that environment. So we partner with them and we train them. And also we've done events on clean cooking because we understand. In fact, we are so passionate. Our session chair is so passionate about sustainability. So we've done events on clean cooking in the past, and we've also established an energy club, which we intend to establish in other schools. We have one currently at the Shepherd School in Abuja, and here we teach primary and secondary school students on sustainable generation and use of energy, because at SB we care about the environment. That's what we do in SB. So it's part of our mission, where we are trying to give energy to our community. We also try to take care of the environment. So thank you very much for coming.
this is not going to end here. And I've seen a lot of interest from a lot of us who want to support this initiative. It's something that whoever you're going to honor, we ensure that this tree will last for, as Dr. said, at the minimum of 35 years. But we're sure even if anything happens to the tree, we're sure that there's a tree for that person. So it's going to be something that will live beyond our own generation. Thank you for coming. God bless you.
Thank you, Program Chair. So should you want to inquire how to get your tree or the 1 euro 1 tree, contact Engineer Mohammed Olutu on White and you will know how to get your tree. Are you a member of SP? You're a member of SP. Let me see your hands up. If you're a professional member of SP, let me see your hands up. Let me see your hands up. Wow. Wow. So we have like less than 2% of people in this room being a member of SPE. So would you love to join SPE? But those are not members. So you love to join SPE? If you want to join SPE, let me echo a big yes. You love to join SPE? Okay, so our membership chair, the person of Dr. Ikecho Akot here, this is the rating. So for everybody that wants to be a part of SPE, we are registering you today. Kindly contact the membership chair. There are so many benefits, like you want to speak that?
No, should I stand there?
Okay, so I can stand there. Okay. Okay, let's have it speak yes. Is that projects on our picture?
SPE. You know, if you don't know what they respond to, you just listen to one person. I just echo it. SPE, oil and gas. Okay. For SPE, it's always a pleasure standing out to speak to amazing people. The Clean Air Initiative we just saw is in partnership with Society of Engineers, and this is about the needs of what we do in SPE. In SPE, the sky is where we start from. Because with SPE, everything you think about the oil and gas industry, the energy industry, we are in tune with that. And like I said, in the midst of all we're offering, when you become a member, you'll be sure that you network with about the best of the best in the oil and gas industry, in the energy industry. I mean, look at our section chair, look at our programs chair, look at the area of people we have here. And this is just Abuja section. Now imagine what we have in store in SB International. And that's the basic reason why you have to be here. Because SB is all about service, SB is all about volunteering, and SB is all about you. So we invite you in the most amicable way to join us. And it's easy. In a day, you can get your membership sorted out. I mean, I'll teach you that. If you are already here, I can get your contact and then send you the forms, and then we'll pick it up from there. And in a single day, you become a member of the most amazing professional organization in the world. You're welcome to join us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Membership chair. Please, appreciate once again. So projected on the screen, it is number, and of course, the cost. You can take it to the photo, but after this event, you may contact me. The people to some of our very professional events, and then switching gears immediately. Please share the slide. Okay, are we taking photos? Okay. You can contact us on all of our social media platforms to know upcoming events and everything we do in SPE. Our official email is SPEabuja sexualinfo@gmail.com, SPEabuja on YouTube. These events and our past events are live streamed on YouTube. You can always go there and refresh your memory. On Facebook, SPEabuja section 199. On Twitter, SPEabuja 199. On LinkedIn, and of course on Instagram, SPEabuja 199. So ladies and gentlemen, as Doctor will come to the very end of this event, thank you so much for coming out to be part of this. My name is Okokono Akpan. My pleasure it was to be your MC. We have launched the set called CPTA. What they can we appreciate it, please? So immediately after now, we will be having a group photograph which will be taken in front here, and then we have the section chair and other dignitaries first for lunch. Thereafter, our author will direct other delegates for lunch. So this one topic, I will give myself a round of applause for being part of this successful event. So head table, kindly join us in front here, head table first. After we have the head table, attention executives, with which I have others join for the group photograph. Okay. All section executives have they joined? Okay. Okay, all student members. Okay, ma'am. Only five. Please join. Ahead. Yes, planning committee, please. All planning committee, please join. You're not the planning committee. Where are they? Are they outside? Okay. Thank you for volunteering your time and your commitment to SPE Abuja section. You may split into two. Some people should go to the other end. Like 2 people go to the end. Okay. Come, yeah. Each time, come forward a little bit. Okay. SPE, all price up. Okay, please hold on, sir. Everybody kindly join. All members for a group of 2. Okay. Should we take it outside or here it's better? If it's outside, you have to move it first. I don't know if it's in the classroom so. Okay, without this. Okay, let's move outside for a group of 2 outside. Please. Thank you. Okay. Have you ended the meeting? Thank you so much. Please announce.